It has been a long, miserable winter for the Titans. 9 losses in a row, just 3 victories in 2022. This man, very familiar with this ground. He's a grand final winner with the Melbourne Storm in 2020.
Yeah, and what a powerhouse. He just carries the ball. He can play big minutes, and we saw what he did in Origin. Such a dynamic player, and coming back here to Melbourne, he'll want to make sure that he puts in a really good performance, and he's up against a real quality pack.
Yeah, we just had a little glimpse of David Norfoluma in Melbourne uniform, which looks a little strange, but what an opportunity. He's never played finals in 10 seasons, and he might walk straight into a finals team if he can stay healthy. Nice night for Jerome Hughes. He brought up his 100th first grade game recently. Now 100 games with the Melbourne Storm. And this man, David Norfoluma, 151 games. Now he is headed to the finals, it would seem, for the first time.
Yeah, he looks completely different in that jersey. He's been in that Tigers jersey for so long, but as you said, he gets an opportunity here in a completely different side. It'll be really interesting to see how he plays, and obviously sitting in that dressing room listening to Craig Bellamy would have been an experience.
He's had a few coaches in his time. Craig Bellamy now added to the list, and Cam Munster, well, you see it there, fullback is a position he's familiar with, but it's been a long time. He has been so dynamic in the 6 role this year, but has to fill a need for Melbourne. So many players missing. Obviously, Ryan Pappenhausen, the backup Nick Meaney, not here this week. So it's Cam Munster expected to be at the back. Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting because predominantly when it's him and Jerome Hughes in the halves, he plays on the left-hand side. So being at fullback, we'll see him in both sides of the field, which could spell danger for the Titans.
So big night, and it begins Friday night footy on Fox. And it's the Titans to receive, and it's Big Tino who's getting it into 3 Melbourne defenders. The Titans have yet to win away from home this year. 0-9. Greg Marju is back in the top team. Good form for Tweed the last 3 weeks in the Queensland Cup. Mo Fotuaika gets over the 20 here. Titans' last win was Magic Round, way back in round 10. As it comes across now, Aaron Clark feeding David Fafita. Aaron Booth maintaining that dummy half role which he's had for the last month, with this man, Aaron Clark, moved into the 13 role. So they make it through their first set, the Titans, and Tanner Boyd, he's been in the halves the last 3 weeks. Now he has the 7 on his back. So Munster is at the back, and immediately gets it on. Norfoluma, an early touch. Young Tonomapaya is out on the wing, and Melbourne already in good field position. Here he is, Norfoluma, West Tigers all-time leading try scorer. Harry Grant. Here's Hughes. This will feel good for Xavier Coates. On the inside of Marion Sever there. Coates getting a touch. There is Sever. You'll see the whole package. Well, not quite all of it, but over halfway. Now it's Asfa Solomona in the headlines this week. Plenty of time for Hughes to set himself. Coates flying through. And Marju nowhere to go, but he does hold on to it. And now, going on with that there, Sever, but not punished. So Brian Kelly struggles to just barely get it over the 10. Let's say hello to Lara Pitt, who's on the sideline tonight.
Good evening, Dan, Shane. The locals tell me the weather in Melbourne has been absolutely perfect until we jetted in this afternoon. 2 hours of rain right up until kickoff. It has cleared, though, just in time, but still certainly soggy and slippery out there in the middle. I'm told that stand-in fullback for the Storm, third string goal kicker, Cameron Munster, will take goals for the Storm tonight.
That is a real concern. Maybe not tonight, Lara, but indeed it's an area that is a problem. Munster's record streaky. Last tackle is Fermor. Plays it there on the halfway, and Boyd kicking from about the same spot as his last kick, and no problem for Munster. And this time Norfoluma a little far away. So Munster just takes it up himself. Storm, their form has been indifferent of late. They started the season 8-1, but with all the injuries, it started to take a toll. Really from that magic round game against Penrith. They've only won 4 of their last 10. Tonomopea is a Melbourne Rebel before rejoining Rugby League through the Storm. That's a good, powerful run from Kenny Bromwich. Now it's Jesse Bromwich. Hughes Kofusi. Tackle here. Kicking again towards Coates. He's not going to make an impression on it here, and a very tidy catch at the back. And that's Jaden Campbell in the colourful headgear.
Yeah, real conservative start by both sides. They both had 2 sets. This is the 3rd set for the Titans. If the Titans are going to cause any trouble here tonight, I just feel that they need to do something different. Maybe kick early and get a really good chase. If they let the Storm just get into a rhythm, they could be in trouble. They've got to mix it up, and they've got to go and play to the Melbourne Storm.
They don't have much to lose, do they? Philip Sami is wrapped up here. There's Campbell just on the left of Booth, but it comes out to Fodawaker. So 5 sets in this game, 5 completions as Brimson back in the halves tonight. That's straight down the throat of Coates. He was injured during the Origin period. Haven't seen him for a couple of months. So here's Munster almost getting by Boyd. In fact, he did eventually. So Melbourne on top field position-wise, already inside Titans territory on tackle number 2. Oh, that's Solomona. As it keeps going here, and Harry Grant with a little bit of space and keeps it alive. Now Kofusi. That's only tackle 3. Back for Hughes. Oh, beautiful footwork, just held down. Kelly, important last effort there. Now down the middle it goes. Kamikamica. He makes it to the line but doesn't get it down.
He's held up, mate. Tackle 5. Out, play the ball.
So 1 tackle left.
Tackle, he's up.
Almost came a little too easily, that.
So it's last tackle, mate. Hold, Tino. Make sure we're on the goal line. Hold, go. Last.
So Hughes, here we go. Here comes Xavier. He's got a chance. He's there. Now that is passed backwards and off the Titans. So Xavier has fashioned something very, very good.
Oh, I think that was when this set started. The big carry by Nelson. He gets the offload, and then the Melbourne Storm just go into what they're really good at. Harry just jumping out of dummy half, supporting the offload. And they get over the try line. But then I just think on this catch, if he had his time again, he might have been able to just get the ball back over his head. He was nearly over the line.
Marju had him, but yeah, the momentum had Coates over, didn't it? So conservative kick from Campbell. Centre Sever to the 20. Does appear a mismatch, doesn't it? Coates in the air against Marju, who's more of a tank than an aerial pursuit merchant. Now here's Hughes. On it goes Cooper Johns. Munster involved. Kenny Bromwich. Is over. Well, he opens his account quickly. It's taken him less than 7 minutes, if it's legal.
Coming up, tackle 3. No try. Just want to confirm that he loses the ball over the line.
Well, he's one of the great finishers. That's part of the reason why he's #1 all-time at the Tigers. And Peter Goff saying no try.
Yeah, it was beautiful work from the Melbourne Storm. They just create some space on the outside, and we have a look at it on the replay. And he just drops it.
Yeah.
Just looking to see if Dave Nofaluma maintains possession.
So that's Jojo Fafita. They can't give that.
He's done a real good job there, Jojo. He's come across and got some real good contact on the ball-carrying arm.
David Nofaluma knocks the ball on over the goal line. We have a decision.
You wouldn't imagine he's done that
He usually
all that
nails
many
them.
times over his 10-year career.
Hold up, Aaron. Wait.
Warwick signs over the Titans. They're doing it pretty easily, Melbourne in attack.
And that's what I was saying, Dan. I just feel that the Storm, if you let them get into their rhythm as they did, they had 3 or 4 sets, and then all of a sudden they got an offload and got in good field position from a carry from Munster.
Oh, Seve run over by Tina.
You're playing the Melbourne Storm's hands.
Here comes to Fodawaker. Over halfway. This is more encouraging for the Titans, at least in terms of field position. Helped by that extra tackle. That doesn't help them, though. Aaron Clark tried to get it on. That was only on tackle 3.
Yeah, and I think we'll agree that they need to throw something different at the Storm, but we just don't need those offloads. You need to have quality offloads. You need to run strong and first and create some space in between the defenders. On this occasion, Bromwich was all over him, and he comes up with an error.
Clark spent most of the season as the number 9. Been terrific the last month, but he'd love to have that moment over again. Haven't seen many smiles on that man's face this year. Justin Holbrook, 3rd year as the coach of the Gold Coast Titans. Oh, hello, it's a Gold Coast ball. So he got away with one there, Aaron Clark. There's Booth. He's happy to take the tackle. Now for Asuma Alawi. 2nd year here on the Gold Coast as a Titan. Another former Storm player, Booth at dummy half as Fafita. Nowhere for him to go there. There's Fodawaker just charging it up. So they haven't fired their bullet yet here, the Titans, with 2 plays left. Campbell on the right. And that's where it goes. Jaden Campbell gets it on. Fafita. And all over him, young Tonomaipaea. So on the last, it's Campbell. Looking for the contest here. That'll be awkward. Oh, not for Hughes. Not for Hughes. It is away. And now Brimson pulls him in. But the quick play the ball. So Melbourne rolling. So it comes out one winger to the other. Coach Stenofaluma.
Yeah, he got some really good protection down on his try line, Jerome Hughes. Had some tall timber coming through in Tino, trying to catch that ball. Just landed straight in his lap, and he gets it up to the halfway line.
One game for the Gold Coast Titans as an 18-year-old in 2013. Now Cooper Johns providing and getting it back. That was Kenny Bromwich with the lovely little play there, but closed down. Tonomaipaea. Oof. Keep it alive with Grant. Jesse Bromwich. Now Jerome Hughes to Kafusi. On the angle. Seve! Oh, he almost get right through Brian Kelly. Great scramble, though, from Brimson. Too good. Xavier Coates scores. That's 2020 vision right there. And Xavier Coates plants it down. It's been coming the first try, and finally Melbourne have it.
Well, Dan, you said it. Just too good. Harry Grant just had the vision, knew he had Xavier out on the touchline. He got into dummy half. Some beautiful dummy half work. The Melbourne Storm, they shifted over to this right-hand side. What about this for a fend? Get out of my way. Really strong carry. Lucky keeps his feet and comes back at him, and a really good tackle in the end. But then Harry comes in, just gives him a bit of a look, shapes to the left, knows where his man is. That's a beautiful pass.
2 defenders on the outside there, but Coates on his own. He's racking up the tries before his injury. That's 12 in 12 games now as a Melbourne Storm player.
Yeah, Greg Marju just lost him. He was defending space. He just got onto the touchline real quickly. Xavier Coates. And once again, but Harry Grant, some real vision, knew where his man was, and just a lovely pass, got through some hands. That's why he's the origin hooker.
And he's basically become an 80-minute player now. Looks like the days of Brandon Smith starting at dummy half and Grant coming on are over. So finally they get points. Ryan Pappenhausen, by the way, their top try scorer this year with 14. So Coates, who goes to 12, he's missed 8 games and he still might get that title here at the Storm. So there you see the numbers for Cam Munster. He's not a great goal kicker. And he hasn't been presented with an easy one here to start. And pulled it away. So Melbourne 4, Gold Coast 0. Ominous signs for the Titans. They finally yield that try. They've been knocking on the door for a little while. Goodness me, Marju was nowhere near Xavier Coates. He gets his 29th career try. So they might be missing a whole heap of players, Shane Flanagan, when you've got Harry Grant, Cam Munster and Jerome Hughes and the rest of them. It's still a pretty formidable lineup, isn't it?
Oh, it's a fantastic lineup. You know, it's a top 4 lineup. You know, they've had the troubles this year, and you know they've got some power, as we said, coming off the bench as well. So
trouble, kick backwards, and it comes away for Kamikamitha.
And they've got the best coach in the business, or one of the best coaches in the business, and knows all about semi-finals, and he'll have this side ready to rumble at the back end of the year.
Well, they've finished top 2 6 straight years. They can still finish in the top 2, and they get a penalty here. Tanner Boyd disappointed with himself.
Onside. Yeah, make sure we're on the mark, though. Let's not go past the mark.
Yeah, inviting trouble if you do this to the Melbourne Storm. Points, and then in second tackle you give them a penalty away, and now they're going to kick into really good field position. It's just inviting trouble.
Let's have a look at this. It was a beautifully placed and weighted kick. Oh, the soccer skills. That Norfoluma there that came in and kicked it from the outside of the boot. It was brilliant. So Melbourne, with the penalty on top, right on the attack again. There's Johns to Munster. Munster allowed to run. Then pops it back for Kenny Bromwich. Cooper Johns a chance. He gets over, but they get under him. So for the second time, a Storm player is held up. So they've had 2 held up. Norfoluma dropped the ball over the line. So that's 4 genuine chances in the first 13 minutes.
Yeah, he did real good. Well, Cooper Johns, he handled twice, goes out the back to Munster, once again runs into that fend. It's a powerful fend, and Cooper Johns is backing up through the middle, just lands on his back and can't get the ball over, but very close.
Has scored 1 NRL try, Flano.
If he keeps supporting like that, he'll get some more tonight.
It was desperate stuff from Philip Sami.
Aaron Booth, I think it is.
It is. He's been waiting so patiently for his chance in the Titans 17. And he played a handful of games for the Storm over the last couple of seasons. 6 games in all, 5 last year. That's somewhat concerning there, as he needs a second trainer to get involved to get him up. Okay, well, this doesn't look good at all, does it? So that
looks like a lower leg, left lower leg.
I can put Aaron Clark back in the dummy half role and at least cover that up, but that's a blow.
Yeah, he seemed to be clutching at an ankle when he went down there, gents. I'll follow up.
There you are. So Melbourne, another chance. It's Hughes. The Crispers pass. Sevier puts it down. Jerome Hughes doesn't misfire like that all that often. That is a real let-off for the Titans.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that. They had plenty of time to set up for it. They knew what play they wanted, but just the pass, just too far behind him, and he knocks it on. A wasted opportunity for the Storm.
Oh, jeez. So Aaron Booth, a slow walk back.
As you said, Aaron Clark can go into the 9 position, but such a loss when you have your hooker who you've trained there all week. He's been really consistent for him, especially Aaron Clark. He brings another dimension to the Titans offense, and he goes back into dummy half now.
Booth, he was so desperate for this chance. I believe his contract is up this year, so it doesn't appear as though he's going to get much of a chance to impress in the closing month. That injury is as bad as it may appear. So all the best to Aaron Booth. Now, Sami not going too far. This is Sam McIntyre involved early.
Don't think he should be at dummy half.
He was hard to put down. As to both Furmore. Real shining light of the Titans this year. Signed till 2026. McIntyre again dummy half. Aaron Clark. Oh, he offloads as he was tipped over. Campbell. He's a magic man, but he can't get through that little opening. That gets the Titans to their last tackle. The crisper set. And not a great kick either. So Norfoluma over the 30. And then on to Hughes, who was lurking. Munster chiming in. Just tuning in. You've just come over from work. Munster, the fullback tonight. Tyron Wishart coming off the bench. It's spectacular stuff there from Clark. That was interesting, wasn't it, that Clark wasn't used in the dummy half role. They really locked in with him in that 13. Here's Kamikamitha thundering over the 30. The man who set up the first try, Harry Grant, gets it going. Kathusi back to Hughes. Hughes no look away to Seven. Oh, he was collected a little high there. And the touch judge satisfied that was okay from Kelly. And the last, Hughes not kicking the coats this time. Up goes Munster. Brilliant catch. Brilliant try. He can do it all. Cameron Munster. Brilliant with his hands. Brilliant with his feet. Brilliant in the air. Melbourne get their second.
Yeah, what a try. He just knows where to be. His halfback puts it on the spot for him. He gets his body in the right position and he comes up with the try. Played plenty of fullback as a young fella, but hasn't played there for a while. 2018, as you said, Dan. But once again, at the end of the set, put it in the right position. He gets up above the pack. Scores another try, but too easy for the Titans for me. Up the other end of the field when they had their opportunity, what happened? Jerome Hughes comes up with the football pretty easy and runs 50 metres. The opposition put it on the spot and their fullback gets the job done.
Well, looking at those replays, as for Solomona, unfortunately for Melbourne, didn't get a fingertip on that, and Munster, a saloon passage to the line once he caught it. So that's his 8th try for the year.
I think you like the challenge of fullback. I don't think you want to play it all the time, but if it is for the rest of the season, then he'll enjoy that opportunity. He'll get to touch the football on both sides of the field and won't be locked into one side. And as you said, he's played it plenty of times.
He came into first grade, of course, as a custodian and the competition up in 2015 and 2016. So Melbourne, this is ominous. 10 points to nil, 17.5 gone. Now, as we get to some really big games, you want to make sure you get your tickets, and you can do that via nrl.com/tickets as we look here at another shot of the Munster try. Pumped up Cam Munster. They haven't had much success, certainly not relative to what they're used to. And by the way, tonight a sellout up at 4 Pines Park. That's great. Manly and Parramatta should be a cracking game. You'll see that live on Fox League, of course. But some big games. Not many tickets left for the big opening of the new stadium at Moore Park. That's going to be a sellout. nrl.com/tickets for that game and for any game across the NRL.
Didn't that stadium look beautiful? I saw on the news during the week. Just with the Titans, the first 10 minutes we spoke about, their first 3 or 4 sets where they were real conservative. They just got to their kick. They were reasonably powerful, but they changed nothing. You can't do that to the Storm. You need to rattle their cage. You need to kick early and get into a chase, and don't let them get into their rhythm.
McIntyre run over by Kaufusi. That's only tackle 3. Grant's kick. Coates flying through. Campbell. Oh, Coates kept it in. Straight into Jaden Campbell, and it's a dropout. Smart play from the winger. So, again, brilliantly fashioned when that looked gone. Now, the bunker could have a look at this.
Played out by Xavier, it's going to be a 20-metre.
Yes, and Campbell there looked like he may have had a foot over the line as Coates tried to drag that in.
Yeah, he did a really good job to get down there and never gave up on the chase. But young Campbell didn't play at the football, and you're right, he's just maybe his toe.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to do that. He just happened to have his toe on there.
Up together, square 2-y.
Yeah, for me now, just the Titans kick on tackle 2 or 3 here. Just get a kick chase and get the Storm out of that rhythm that they're in at the moment.
Wait. Oh,
I think the midway point of this first half, it's 10-0. It could be a lot bigger. Now for Asul Ma'alawi. Pretty well handled.
McIntyre's the biggest hooker I've seen for a long time.
And he gets it on the Clark. Here's Fafita. It's about as much room as he's had so far. Clark. Tannerboy. Gives towards Norfoluma. Confident catch, and he's away. Norfoluma, he got around Boyd. And just doing enough was Jojo Fafita with the help of Jaden Campbell. But yet again, the Storm start a set on the front foot.
Yeah, just too easy for the Storm. They catch it on the front foot. They don't have to, their big middles don't have to turn around and go back 30 or 40 metres to start their set. They just come onto the ball.
And it goes now Sever. Really trying to isolate Sever on Kelly, aren't they? But Kelly comes up with the
back
tackle.
on the mark, Marion. Go, 3.
Coates.
Aaron, Mo. Here we are, Sam, on the right, go.
Scored the first try. Munster the second. Jesse Bromwich. There's the offload. It's a contest and it comes away from Munster. And it is the start of a new set. But Hughes doesn't know and puts it up. And it comes away here for Sami. I'm going to be honest, I'm with Jerome Hughes. I did not see the referee wave his arm there, but he clearly said 0 tackle and little break for the Gold Coast.
Yeah, exactly. We heard the call from the referee that went back to 0. Jerome Hughes definitely didn't hear it as the Titans shifted their edge.
Oh, and then the risky pass, but yeah, player taken off there. So Brimson earns a penalty. Tackle just before it got to him. There's penalty for the Titans tonight. Or Melbourne's going to challenge.
G. Captain's challenge Melbourne, challenging the on-field decision to tackle without the ball.
Well, this is going to be split-second stuff. Oh, that's good. They're going to win that.
AJ Brimson has possession
challenge
when Felice Kaufusi tackles him. The challenge is successful.
And I'm sure Craig Bellamy is blowing up at that challenge. There's something else that's got his attention.
He makes sure that he gets his message across, that's for sure.
Where are you going to want the scrum here, Cameron? You'll keep the challenge. Yeah.
It's definitive. One look was all we needed there.
32 out, yep.
And again,
Jerome,
great field position for the Storm.
Yeah, once again, the Titans, you know, at least they tried to shift to their edge, a little bit of movement with the football, but they come up with an error. Just too many and just gifting the Storm field position. And we know how dangerous they are when they get their set plays on.
Thanks, David. Okay, Harry, stay right in, mate. Okay, ball in, hold there, AJ. Wait! Hold! Break.
There it is. They knew the push was coming. There's Munster. And that sort of run plenty of times this year. So they start on the 20. Taumapea. One out. Rasmus Solomona. Quick play the ball. That allows Grant to run.
You're all over him. That's not acceptable. Play the ball. You're holding him down. You can't play
I
off
think
the play
Grant
the ball.
might have liked the quick play the ball.
Jeez, yeah, that's probably the Gold Coast advantage. Grant was looking very, very threatening. But full set, Josh King off the bench and almost getting over the line on his first touch. Oh, geez, they're stacked deep, the Storm. Xavier Coates is 25 metres behind the players. It swung out that side. Hughes on the 7. And straight into Brimson. Fermor as well. Green, double cut out. Johns gets it on to Kenny Bromance and tunnels his way to the line. He knew immediately. He knew straight away he could get his way over. They've got 3, the Storm. That's 14 points to 0. And Kenny is pretty happy.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? Really smart play in the end. He just got his head down, knew he had a couple of metres and was going to be in contact, but he knew where the try line was and he knows how to score a try. Really smart play. They go to Harry Grant. He controls the middle part of the field. And then Johns, a really nice select pass. Gets down low, pushes over Bromwich for a really classy Storm try. Everyone did their job, delivered the pass out in front, and there's a bit of speed and power at the end.
Kenny, last year here at the Storm, and that is his 28th try. He and brother Jesse and Felice Kafusi all, of course, going to Redcliffe. So the end of an era coming up for the Storm, but there's still some unfinished business here.
And all off the back of, once again, a Titans error in really good field position. They gave the ball to the Storm. They went from the scrum. They had a couple of little shots at him, and then they went from sideline to sideline. Too classy, good skill set from the whole team.
So 3 tries and close a number of other times. Munster made one from close range, missed one from the right touchline. This should be the non-preferred for the left-footed kicker. That one's a good-looking kick. Much better from Cam Munster. It's Melbourne 16, Gold Coast 0.
Yeah, what a way to cap off the 500-game celebration for the Bromwich brothers with Kenny crossing for that try. You'd think in all the milestones the brothers have celebrated that Dad Mike would have gotten up and presented them with the jersey before, but no, that was left for this week, and their dad Mike stood up and spoke about the pride he has for his sons and what they've achieved in the purple jersey. So an emotional week, capped off with a try there today.
Yeah, you're right, Jesse playing game 290, Kenny 211.
Stay outside here, guys. Stay on.
Well, they could really unleash over the next 55 minutes the Storm.
Well, they get into rhythm. They'll get field position, and then they're so disciplined with their shapes and positioning when they get down on the opposition's try line. So if you give them field position, you're in trouble.
Look at the ground they're making over the 30 on tackle 2, and it's just conservative plays. Jesse Bromwich, 100 metres last week. First time in a little while, and good start to tonight's game as Harry Grant, his second run. Look at those run meters, double effectively. King, Hughes with the kick. Let's see Coates in full flight. Coming across is Campbell, it sits up nicely. So Coates didn't really have a shot there. And the penalty.
Flop in and slow.
Well, this one won't be
Tackle's
overturned
complete,
by a
guys.
challenge, and that is a very handy penalty for the visitors.
Yeah, just what they needed. They've been struggling to get out of their own end. They'll be able to kick out of their own end this time. Just on that last set for the Storm, nearly every carry, the front rowers and their middles found their front and got quick play the balls, and the Titans just can't keep up at the moment.
Last 2 weeks, Titans scored 26 and 24 against Canterbury and Canberra. So their attack's been pretty meek this year, but I think they've come in with a little bit of attacking form coming into this contest. They just haven't had it down this MCG end. I saw Alawi. They won't allow him to offload. Just 2 tackles beyond the 20-metre line. Isaac Liu. Now Brimson. Out for Kelly. Tries to draw them in, Kelly, but Marju well handled. Just outside the 10. Kelly back in field. Brimson links up with his halves partner as Boyd takes a tumble. McIntyre again at dummy half. Fa'asua Ma'alawi straight down the centre. The big units colliding there. Big last play for the Titans. Here's Boyd. Fermor, not sure it was meant for him, and he'll get over. Oh, there was one last lunge that he's claiming and succeeding in getting the referee to oblige. Well, that seemed like a miscommunication. It's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. I think that last little go, he gets rolled onto his back by Jerome Hughes. He's a strong ball runner, but he just shows his strength here at the try line. Munster, Jerome Hughes involved in the tackle, and he just flips over, and the referee's in a perfect position. And I think you're right, that's a try.
It was meant for him, and the pass just wasn't totally on point, but it will do. There it is, try confirmed. So the bunker has given that one the green light. That's good. Good work from Fermor. He looked gone. Hughes' work was excellent, but just that last little push.
Yeah, and he's been really consistent all year, and even last week he made a really nice line break and set up Campbell for a try. On this occasion, just comes back on an inside line, and then he's really powerful in the slippery conditions, and he was too strong in the end, and he gets the football down. But worrying for the Storm, the first opportunity that the Titans get down there, they take points. They haven't had any field position, and the first time they get it, well done Titans, they get some points.
Well, Melbourne have conceded a lot more points this year than they have in recent years. 18 a game, which is it's not disgraceful by any means, but it's their worst since 2014. Boy. No, that's not going to do enough. So it's a 12-point margin. Storm 16-4.
Yeah, Justin Holbrook singled out that man there, Bo Fermor, during the week. It has been a tough old run for the Titans, but it's guys like him, the young guys coming through, getting experience and exposure and taking their opportunity even through the tough times that are impressing him the most at the moment. Just an update on Aaron Booth. Unfortunately, his night is over. No real surprise there. He's been on the green whistle, and the club's telling me it's a knee injury.
Oh, jeez. I think well, with only, what, a month to go, that might do him for the year, so that's terrible stuff. Well, a bit of life in this game with that Titans try.
Yeah, and we said Sam McIntyre is one of the biggest hookers we've seen, but his passing out of dummy half has been sharp. He knows exactly where it's going. He's obviously played there before. He's got a really good skill set. Look at these passes.
Tino gets it on to Fafita. Just held on to there, carrying.
That's better.
Johns along and Kenny Bromwich for the ride. There's a roll on. Fa'asua Ma'alawi. Well, there's Brandon Smith in the game. And that hurt Tino.
Tackle 3.
Needs to play it though.
Can you hurt Tino?
It's just folded in an awkward manner. Nothing illegal, it would seem, but just those things. See this replay, so it's Brandon Smith down low.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, Dan.
He's just sliding along the deck. I understand it's wet and he's sliding. What it is he throws his legs out, which drops the weight on the back foot. It's on report? Yeah.
That could be very big. So, only a 2-man tackle. Not the familiar 3-man tackle when that sort of result occurs.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You can't do it. We know we can't put your weight on the back of the legs when the player is going away from you, and he gets himself in a bad position. It's a big first tackle.
Oh, boy. 40 metres out the Titans. Oh, that's almost a little gap opening up, and Tino coming off. Free interchange, but they'll need him back on the field. Might have been just the right time for that to happen, for Tino to get a little breather.
Yeah, correct.
So, Titans now enjoying a nice little period here. Brimson. Oh, Kelly stepped inside Sever. Inside was Hughes. Now Marju. Two forwards had to be involved there with King and Korfusi. Now a crash play. Oh, my goodness. Esse. They'll look for double movement.
Coming up to tackle 4.
As he bounces over.
Got no try. I just want to confirm a double movement.
I think we know what David Fafita thinks. Did he promote it? Herman Esse. Ooh.
Yeah, I think, Dan, if he just doesn't lift his arm off the ground, momentum would have got him there.
Doesn't need to do it.
Herman SSA, and half his body ends up in the in goal with momentum.
Oh.
We have a decision.
Wow.
Well, I think that's a good call. He's half of his upper body, well, all of his upper body ends up in the in goal. He didn't need to lift his right arm off to score the try.
Absolutely not, but you're right, but there's some common sense being used. Well,
Sent from the bunker.
he did promote, but the referee in the bunker suggesting it didn't have an impact. What is going on? It was a bloodbath a few minutes ago. Now we've got Brandon Smith on report, and the Titans a chance to make it a 6-point game.
Yeah, and well done, Titans. They've had 2 opportunities down at this end, and they've come up with points both times. Hasn't been fancy, but it's been strong and powerful. That was a good carry, and some poor defence by the Storm on the try line. Craig Bellamy will not be happy with that type of defence, especially at this time of the year.
Esse hasn't been in this side all that often in his 2 years here at the Gold Coast. Just his 12th game. Big moment for him. Big moment there. That is his first touch of the night. Good strike rate. Been around for a while, Herman. Bulldogs and Brisbane. So here's now Tanner Boyd. That's a much better kick. Well, all of a sudden we have a contest here.
And where it started from, Dan, was the set from after the other try. They shifted straight to Fafita on the edge, who made a really good dent in them, and then they were up about the halfway line when they got the penalty. That's what they need to do. Go to their strike players on the edge, Fermor and Fafita, to get some momentum, and you're a chance.
So there's Tino. That angle was interesting, actually. He's leading the VB hard-earned index. So he's the lone Titan on that list. And doesn't look too concerned, does he? We'll see plenty of him in the second half. Interesting, that last replay on Esse, his arm might not even touch the ground anyway. So looks all fine. Of course, he played for Newcastle as well, Herman. So he's been around the block, and good start to his night.
And a good decision from the bunker.
Out together!
It was 16-0 if you're just tuning in.
16-0 and cruising they were.
They've had 3 or 4 other chances. One penalty which gave the Titans field position, and that changed the momentum entirely. Liu in the 16. Just short of halfway with this the last. Campbell. Oh, he gets that off the side of the boot. Might get a contest out of it. They're happy there to let Jojo Fafita take it. He got rid of it, but too late. So yet again, Melbourne, much like the first 15, 20 minutes, gifted field position on about their 30.
Yeah, and I think Campbell from that field position, he probably wouldn't be able to kick it dead. It would be a real good kick if he gets 50, 55 metres on it. Just punch it long and deep into the in goal. Hopefully it holds up in the in goal and get your kick chase on it. He tries to kick it high, mishits it, and then the Storm just come onto the football. Don't have to return back.
Fafita tried to whack North Aluma there for having the temerity to play in the middle. As Grant has to contend with Jolliffe trying to rip it out of his hands. That's a Storm move. Now it's Eisenhuth. Third game this year in the top grade. Just love one just to reassert their authority on this contest. Brandon Smith, the first receiver. John's out to Munster. Oh, straight through. Big smile on his face as he cruises to the line. And just like that,
Just confirm that Tanner Boyd actually falls over.
just establish who's boss in this contest.
What a player. He just gets on the outside. He gets a 3-and-2 opportunity. And he takes the run himself. Once again, Melbourne get good field position. Cooper Johns been fantastic delivering the football to their main man. He gets it to him. He knows he's got at least a 2-on-1. He shows to the outside. Beats a man Fafita for speed. Nearly doesn't even get a hand on him. He is a class act. They're just looking to see if Tanner Boyd was obstructed back on the inside by that lead runner, Bromwich. I think it's okay.
Don't poked out nice and early. There you go. Bunker gives that the all clear as well.
He's enjoying his footy.
Geez, you look like the Warriors logo there for a few seconds. Maybe not so much with that moustache. So 4 tries now for Melbourne. And Munster, he might be done. We haven't seen all that much of him, but what we have seen, he's just been totally dominant.
He's just so dangerous when he gets down into that field position. Melbourne, they just fall into shape. They know what side they're going to attack, and obviously tonight it's Munster's favourite side. Cooper Johns is just delivering the ball to him out the back. He's getting some 3-on-2 opportunities. On that occasion, he just takes the run. We'll see a lot more of that in the second half.
And that one straight through. So Storm back up by 12.
Yeah, that man, Cam Munster, will be a special guest on Sunday night with Matty Johns. I did speak to the club in the lead up to kick-off about his move to fullback tonight. They assure me it is just a short-term move. Nick Meaney will be back next week, so we can expect to see Munster back in his preferred position of the halves for the Panthers game next weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll get Justin Olin back as well. COVID protocol, so starting to look a bit more familiar with the Melbourne team. Obviously, no Pappenhausen, that's a season ender. Christian Welsh as well. Remus Smith looks like he's gone for the year. George Jennings, so I mean they're going to be short for the rest of the year, but not quite as ravaged if the injury gods are on their side as they have been the last few weeks.
When Cameron Munster plays at 5'8", and in a big game, I'd be running a lot of traffic at him, making him make a lot of tackles to take some energy and zip out of him when they've got the football. When he's at fullback, very hard to get to. He's going to do some Ks, but he can't make any tackles.
North Aluma got away from Fafita, got inside Liu, linked up with Brandon Smith. Strong tackle down low, Esse. But Melbourne now on the move. Eisenhuth to Hughes. Now the pass was well read as Rafusi wrapped up by AJ Brimson. No markers. So Grant just gallivants down the middle.
Jerome Hughes back on the line, injured.
Last tackle, Herman!
Okay, keep an eye on that. She's clutching at the shoulder there. That is concerning. Grant finds the in goal, but Brimson brings it back easily. Now he's up, about to get up here. Hughes, they might have to stop play. Now he's up and walking, and geez, clutching at that left arm. That's a real problem.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how he comes up with the injury. He passed the football, and I just think he might have got hit a little bit late or landed on it. He's a tough customer.
Well, it hasn't been a perfect half for Melbourne. So Brandon Smith on report. Now they've got this problem with Jerome Hughes who's just lurking out on the wing. Obviously just trying to get through to half-time. Can't get him in this set, the Titans. Oh, that's a good testing kick. That's as good as we've seen from them. Oh, great catch, Munster. Oh, nonchalant. And then the little push away from Jolliffe.
That's one of the best spends. He just comes out and he just jams it, and some good defenders there as well. So dangerous and so strong in contact.
Ooh, okay.
Tackle 2.
That was reviewed if he perhaps didn't catch that so cleanly. Oh no, Xavier Coates now. Now he's clutching at his ankle. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, just back from injury. They've got so many injuries to their outside backs. Obviously, David Nufaluma coming to the club. He just goes into contact here. It's hard to see, but he's come up with a lower leg injury, ankle.
He's had ankle injuries. And now this is becoming a pretty ordinary first half for Melbourne as we watch that replay, and he's collared by Fermor, but
just the way he lands on the ground, maybe.
Nothing untoward, really. So this is good. This is good, and Hughes looks, he's still in a bit of pain, doesn't he, Hughes, but he's out there. So encouraging. Funny old first half this has been. And we'll be back to the Clive Churchill studio with Hannah and the crew after these last 3 minutes. Lots to dissect from the first half. Brandon Smith, I bet they'll be talking about him at some point.
Last tackle.
Nick Ennison, Corey Parker, as Melbourne again finish a set inside Titans territory. Could be awkward, this one for Campbell. Munster trying to balk him. No problem for the young man. That's a penalty. They got a little excited there, the Melbourne trio. Tonamapaya, Johns, Norfoluma.
You got players offside to start, Tanner. Mark's there, stay behind the line.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always thought that sometimes the referee called it a little bit too early, that held tackle. Obviously, that's a bit of a plan. They want to kick high to Campbell and get to him quickly, and then put him on the train and get him back into his in goal. But sometimes the referee leans on the side of caution and calls held.
So the Titans have hardly had it down the northern end, but they have troubled Melbourne. There's Campbell on the angle. Brimson with a little space. As Kelly winds up inside to Brimson. Oh, he just couldn't quite connect with Fermor. But again, Melbourne, it just opens up. Inside the 20. Plenty of tackles left. Maju back to Hughes. Made a beeline for him. And now that's the try line right in front of him. Brimson calling the shots, pointing players to their positions. And it'll come down to this last tackle. Boyd on the right. Up we go. Norfoluma under it. Oh, he's done brilliantly. There were 2 Titans there. Norfoluma straight into stride.
Yeah, he did really well, Nufaluma, but the Titans, they get into really good field position, and then they shift from the left-hand side to the right, and they all miss time their assignments. As we see the catch of Nufaluma in the corner. He's not the biggest man, but that's a big take.
Not important here with only 30 seconds left. Grant not happy. Something in that tackle. Oh, Eisenberg driven back. Feet of the men making the tackle. 5 runs, hasn't really imposed himself yet. Oh, that's so close for Brian Kelly.
It's a try under the post if he gets that. Bit of a concern for the Storm, how easy the Titans are going when they get into good field position, how easy it is for them. They've been down there 3 times, I think it is, and they got 2 tries.
All right, 1 play left, 45 out. We're thinking 2-point field goal. Maybe something a little more adventurous. No,
The siren went off, mate. I'm aware of that. That's a timekeeper issue. Once the siren goes...
All right, that's the end of that. Oh, my goodness, lots to dissect out of that first half. 6 tries in all. It's Melbourne 22, Gold Coast 10. And David Norfoluma, first half as a Melbourne Storm player under his belt, almost scored. This man scored a double, looking for his first hat-trick since 2015. His one and only hat-trick. That was also against the Gold Coast when he was a fullback, which is, of course, where he is tonight. You wouldn't know he hasn't played there in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, he might get more than one in this second half if they get some good field position. As you said, 2 tries. He's had 8 runs for 84 metres. A lot of the ball that he's received has been on his 40-metre line. The kicking game for the Titans hasn't been crash hot. They need to fix this up in the second half.
So let's go to Lara Pitt here with Tyron Wishart in the game. Lara, I believe you've got some news.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes will not be risked for the rest of this match. The Storm need to have his injured shoulder looked at, and as you can see, Wishart is in the halves the remainder of this game.
Thank you, Lara. So yeah, another challenge here for the Storm, and more weight on the shoulders of Cam Munster. So he got through the end of that first half. That was, what, the last 5 or 6 minutes where he was hampered. That's a forced pass. King claims it's off a Titan, but Goff says it's knocked on Melbourne.
Yep.
They are going to challenge. They just got in.
Captain's challenge, mate.
Will be 1 for 1 with
Melbourne
these tonight.
challenging the on-field decision of a knock-on by them first.
It appears that may have collected something on the way through from King. Though that's not a good replay, but he was passing perhaps backwards.
Just looking to see who knocks on here first.
Oh dear. Probably deserves to be a knock-on, Shane, but that doesn't mean it was a knock-on.
In attempting to offload backwards, Josh King actually drags the ball forward and propels it towards the opponent's dead ball line. The challenge is unsuccessful.
The old sticky spray got him.
Stick him. Wow.
Too much at half-time. He's gone to offload it and it stuck to his hand and came back on him.
So they were correct. Liu did knock it on as well, but it's King's knock on first. Well, this is prime field position for the Titans.
Big challenge in this second half. Wishart and Cooper Johns in the halves just to get this team into good field position and get the right shapes and plays on. Big responsibility.
So it's Boyd onto Campbell. He's happy to distribute away to Brian Kelly.
Go on.
Well, with Hughes off, if the Titans can score first, it really does open the possibilities here of a monumental upset. McIntyre, again, dummy half. Boyd to Brimson. Here it comes to Campbell. Just got inside Johns and Bromwich and almost got past Eisenhuth. So McIntyre just happy to distribute one out to Liu with 2 plays left. And down the middle goes Esse. He's already got a try tonight. He's Boyd to the ground. It's heavy. Sits up. Good result. Line dropout.
Interesting, Dan, when a player like that goes off at half-time, you'd be surprised that some of the Titans players may not know that he's not there. It's only the really smart ones and obviously the players that defend on or attack on that edge would realise he's probably not there unless the coach gets a message down, which I'm sure it's going down now.
Did any thought to putting Munster back at, in the halves and Wishart back at fullback?
He has played there. It's just another change in game, and then you've had 3 changes. Not sure.
Wait and see. We've got to get the ball before we can make that determination. That's Maju in 14, but playing in his usual position on the wing with Jolliffe inside the 20. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's good work from Fafita. Could have been a catastrophe. Already 3 tackles expired. Esse. Oh, look at him. He had that ball on the ground before he was tackled, but he kept his hand on it. Now, Brimson, the kick, the chaser, Kelly! Game on! Brimson combines with Kelly. And all of a sudden, the Titans are up and about, and they can sense something very, very special.
Yeah, the Titans are outstanding at this type of play. They've scored so many tries and they get so many repeat sets. They shift out onto the left-hand side, and AJ Brimson gets the ball, sees there's a bit of space and knows he's got 2 players screaming into the hole in Beau Fermor. And then it's a beautiful, well-timed. He just holds himself up, Kelly. Makes sure he gets that grounding. Had a bit of time to get to it, moving fast, but he times his run perfectly.
Kelly with his 6th try of the year. It's been an interesting year for AJ Brimson. He started in the halves. This is all obviously to accommodate the fullback Jaden Campbell, but with Campbell out, a bit of fullback for Brimson, but back now in the halves role. Big kick this. Obviously plenty of time to go, but I don't believe that they're within touching distance. And that kick,
No goal.
no good. It was 16-0 after 25 minutes. It's now 22 points to 14. So Justin Holbrook down on the sideline now, spending the first half up in the coach's box. It's a very pretty replay for AJ Brimson.
He's been strong over on that edge, Kelly, when he's carried the football. It's been a real battle on that side with the Storm. Really good timing there, as he said. He just pushed into the hole. AJ Brimson, a really nice kick. And it's one of their strengths, the Gold Coast Titans, is their short kicking game, and obviously the chase to get the try. Really important now that they just get this set done. They don't come up with an error, and they put the Storm under some pressure coming off their try line.
So 4 tries to 3. And Drew brings it back to the centre. Esse. Comes to Fafita. Stands up to it, getting some help down low from Kenny Bromwich. Now the short side play for Boyd. And he gets inside Bromwich and inside another. Very clever, crafty play that.
Straight up the way. Back and hold it. Go for.
Wasn't who there, he slipped inside as well. Now Brimson, Fermor, Brian Kelly just bit off a little bit more than he could chew. That was such an encouraging set with a deflating finish.
Yeah, I think he'll feel that his winger let him down there. He needed him right in his pocket, and he's a metre back. He missed the kick.
Let's find out some more on Jerome Hughes. Lara Pitt.
Yeah, Dan, he's with the physio in the sheds at the moment. The club telling me he simply had no strength in that shoulder. There was concerns that perhaps he dislocated it in contact, but it popped straight back in. So he's going to have some scans tomorrow.
That is huge, what happens there. They've got Penrith next week. Obviously, Penrith don't have Luai Cleary for a while, but they've also got Brisbane at Suncorp. They've got the Roosters down here in Melbourne, and then Parramatta. That is a brutal finish. And top 4 obviously is no guarantee. It's becoming a survival of the fittest, this NRL, as it so often does. Munster to halfway. Grant kicking before the last, finding some open space. Campbell. Oh, straight into English Wisher with some ferocity.
And that's what the Titans need to do. Exactly what Harry Grant did. An early kick, put it down in the corner, make the big Gold Coast Titans forwards turn around and go and start their set.
And there's a penalty. See the frustration from Hughes. And all the little things just going the Titans' way. Gifted great field position.
That would have been a challenge for Justin Holbrook at half-time to get the belief into his team. Obviously, they look at the scoreboard and they were off to a quick start, the Storm, but they fought their way back into it. They had some really good attack when they got into good field position and come up with tries. It's just getting this team to believe they can come back and get some points.
Part of the reason they've been on top for a while, the Titans, in the last 4 penalties, they couldn't buy field position the first 20 minutes. Last couple of weeks he's been coming off the bench. Boyd. Fafita splashing off Tonomapaya, getting rid of Norfoluma. And sliding by Josh King. That's more like it from Fafita. A little gingerly. Oh, McIntyre. What you call him, the biggest dummy half in the world.
He's doing a good job so far.
All the success really has come since he's been there. There's a one from Campbell. Now Grimson puts some mustard on that kick, and that's way over the back.
The problem I see with McIntyre is at the back end of the half. Obviously, he's played in the forwards and he's carrying the football, but to get to dummy half, back to back, 4 or 5 times per set, and have good selection of pass and a good pass out of there is going to be a challenge.
Well, we might have some sort of finish here, the way the trend of this game is going. But then it is off to 4 Pines Park. What a cracker coming up. Melbourne penalty. So Melbourne will get some field position for the first time this second half. But Manly, Parramatta. Manly, their dramas through the last week. Parramatta, no Mitchell Moses. Manly playing for survival. Parramatta for the top 4. And it's a sellout. There's a lot to love about that game coming up. The old rivals.
And Manly at 4 Pines Stadium, I don't think they've lost a game there this year. They've been outstanding. They've been really strong, made it a bit of a fortress like it used to be. So a big game.
Yeah. They got 17,500 for a sellout against the Tigers earlier in the year. So it's going to be something similar. It's been a beautiful day in Sydney as Grant links up with Kenny Bromwich. And already they're up to the 30. Grant now. Work it to the middle. Leonard Smith in a dummy half. Josh King met by 3 defenders with 2 tackles left. Munster yet to see. Johns on to Wishart. Wishart to Munster. Shovels it on. Coates fashions it back in field, but Marju in the right position. And yet again, Melbourne get close, but for no result.
Yeah, some good defence by the Gold Coast Titans, turning them away. They had to scramble to the corner, but really good contact on Coates. And alarming for Melbourne Storm, they've missed 25 tackles to the Titans 20. So they've turned it around in this second half, only early stages, but they've turned it around. They've defended well.
Last month, they've missed 38 tackles a game. Enormous numbers for the Storm. As Brimson out to the centre, Kelly. The final play. And they get it right here on the last. Brimson, midfield. Well, trying to get a contest here. And, oh, it skews away, but back there, looks like Harry Grant got himself in the right place.
Yeah, whilst that kick landed in a bit of no man's land and they could have come up with the opportunity, it's a poor kick. There's no direction, there's no real case. It's a miss-hit.
2 tries in the first half in the fullback role. He's going to get a penalty here. No, it's a knock-on. Well, they can't take a trick at the moment, the Storm.
You put the ball behind his leg, Cameron. Lost ball. Scrum.
They have no challenge anyway, but that is Gold Coast ball thanks to that knock-on.
Well, it's a bit of a trend. He flipped him to the side because he's holding onto the football. And as the referee says, he puts the ball behind him.
But his hand never comes off the ball, Flamo, which is why the Storm are blowing up.
I can understand both. I can understand both, but he did put the ball behind the Gold Coast defender's foot and he flipped him around. It's a bit of like a tactic that players do when they're holding onto the ball. They flip him to the side. On this occasion, he flipped him and he put the ball behind his foot, so it can go either way. Unfortunately, they didn't have a challenge.
Well, that was an eye-opening moment for the closed caption person here. Looking at Craig Bellamy as Boyd into Grimson. There's a real spring in the step of these Titans, but do they have the polish to get another try? Jolliffe.
Aaron Clark on the dummy half.
Move together.
Most of the season he's been a dummy half. It's Campbell, look at him chiming in behind, but oh, it was a little trick play. They tried to fool the Storm. And it was Isaac Liu hitting him on the fingertips. Crowd getting a little rambunctious.
Well, if you're going to beat the Melbourne Storm in Melbourne, you need to take all of your opportunities, and that's a wasted one there for the Titans.
He's been fullback before, where he was supposed to be tonight. It was a Magic Round. It was Sevet. Speaking of Magic Round, that's when he came back into this top grade side, Marion Sevet. And goes to Isaac, a little flat-footed, but stuffed inside Esse. Sharp play the ball. Grant now to Jesse Bromwich. Plenty of room down the middle for him. Munster. That's going to drop just short of the line. Great catch. Joe for feet. That was courageous from the man in just his 5th first grade game. But now they've got a problem here. They're in a bit of quicksand. Takes 3 tackles just to break the 10-metre line.
It was an interesting one. That could have been a penalty to the Titans. Contact in the air on JJ Fafita, and they can get away with it on that occasion, the Melbourne Storm.
Tino back in the game. 11 minutes to go before half-time. Conversion rate's very good. That'll be 22 from 25 now for the Gold Coast. Munster. Pushing away from Jolliffe. He's getting away from Kelly. Peter Goff not having any of it. Munster getting a little cranky. Kelly engaging. The smile of the first half from Cam Munster has disappeared, at least for now. Here's a little outside inside Johnston Munster. Great read by Sami. Melbourne still with momentum here. Going through Brandon Smith. Oh, almost crashed his way to the line. Well, he shakes off Big Tino. Takes all. Oh, he's still got it away. But no, the referee called it. Simultaneous. Last play. Johns. Oh, Boyd slipped over. Slips in for Dina, and Campbell. Well, he did well, but not well enough. Now the Melbourne Storm just tightening the vice a little.
Yeah, what a run, Brandon Smith. He actually trips over. That man there, Campbell, just stood his ground in front of him when he came up, and then they kick out to the left-hand side, and there's a couple of players slip over, and then the ball just bounces back into Campbell's arms, and he can't get out. Here's the run. Just stumbles. Campbell gets in front and he just progresses on. Such a powerful ball runner.
Stay on side here, guys.
The second dropout Melbourne have received. And Coates, no panic there. That was something which seemed to invite the Titans to come through. Wishart now onto Eisenhuth. 10 metres out. To just settle things down, Melbourne. Grant for Munster. Now back for Kufusi. Takes a little slip. Players been slipping there all night in that part of the field. Munster keeps it going. That was risky. Grant holds on. Short side play for Wishart. Here's Sebo 2-on-2. It's tidy stuff from Brimson. Wishart at first receiver. Grant at second. Now it's Johns. Goes deep, Kenny Branch. And he goes for the all-or-nothing pass.
Hand over.
And that's Titans' ball. Just not happening for the Storm.
Yeah, that was a messy set from the Melbourne Storm. They missed their assignment on a couple of occasions. They went out to the left. They went over to the right, and a really good tackle by AJ Brimson. But once again, just trying to shift for the sake of shifting, and it's not the ball not getting in the better players' hands. They needed in Munster's hands rather than go across the face of him and shift him from sideline to sideline. The Titans handled it pretty well.
4 errors in 17 minutes for the Storm. Here's a strong, powerful surge from Fa'asua Alawi. Making a dummy half. Remember, Aaron Booth injured early, unfortunately. Jerome Hughes out of the game for Melbourne. Perhaps precautionary with that shoulder concern. Campbell Collin. Haven't seen him light it up yet tonight. That's always a possibility. Exactly, you goes one out. Now, can they get it right here, the Titans? Boyd. Towards David Mufaluma. Oh, the flick pass. Could be a good result here. Munster sizes it up and stays in. A little chancy pass from Norfoluma bought them an extra 10 metres. Antonio Player. Last team he played for in the NRL was the Titans after 5 years at the Storm. Instead of the Rebels as well. Asma Solomon. Here's Jesse Bromwich. Sit back and yield some metres. Grant again kicking before the last. Again finding open space. Campbell will want to let that go. And he gets a very friendly bounce. Had all the hallmarks of one that was going to sit up. Maybe they're just getting a little bit of luck, the Titans.
Yeah, just sometimes you just need a little bit of luck. That one, this is a bit heavy from Harry Grant out of dummy half, and the Titans a 7-tackle set from the 20-metre line.
There's Jojo Fafita. He's averaging over 120 metres in his few first-grade games. Haven't seen so much of it tonight. Here it comes now to Fa'asua Alawi. That was Ferdinand pouring through. Oh, penalty. A penalty in Melbourne. Are going to say, well, you can't take the tap there. The Storm are going to say, well, Ken Munster did something similar and didn't get a penalty.
What's the rule? He's run behind his own player.
The penalty's here for Marion coming in as a second effort, mate. Tackle's complete, Jesse.
He's run behind his player.
There's an explanation from Peter Goff.
Here we are.
It was definitely a penalty. He came in late. He was already on the ground. Second effort. He got it right, Peter Goff.
Oh, I understand what you're saying there.
So 40 metres from the line.
Big set here.
There's so much time left here, and the Titans with all the momentum.
Go one. Here we are.
Campbell again sprinting to the left. There's Boyd, and this time it does get to him. Then the neat pass for Firmwell. Now Wishart knew it was coming, and the ball's been jolted free. That could be an enormous play.
50. Clock's on. He acknowledged me just then.
Yeah, great defence, Melbourne Storm. But on the other side, you just can't drop the ball in contact like that at this level. Just puts his team under so much pressure. They just started to get some momentum, started to get on the top of this Melbourne Storm team, get into good field position, and unfortunately they come up with an error. He's been one of their better players, but he'd like to have that time again.
Good moment for Severett, giving away that penalty and then getting Melbourne the ball back involved in that tackle.
Clock off. Ball in.
Having his best year in the top grade since 2019. It feels like this game is waiting for a big moment, isn't it? One way or the other.
Well, the Storm need to take it to the Titans, but they haven't gone long distance tries, and they're going to get a penalty here. They're so good when they get into the opposition's 40, but they're not that good long distance at the moment.
Cameron.
Calm down.
Enough. The upright tackles are different, and they're not as slow as you're making them out to be, mate.
Just flat and fast. Okay, well, mate, sorry.
I know, but yeah, the limit there, Cameron. No more, mate. Nelson, just behind the line. Sorry, mate.
Great to hear all the effects here at on Fox League. They've been a little cranky, haven't they, the Storm, for much of this game with some of the interpretations. Full set inside Titans territory. Not something I could say has happened too often in the second half. Here's Big Nelson. No offload for him here.
It's the time Harry Grant, when the team's getting tired, the opposition middle's getting tired, he'll come into play.
Johns to Wishart. Two halves at the moment. On to Korfusi. Penalty.
No need.
Penalty. Player pushed out of it in back play.
It's not a quick one, Cameron. No. It's a big shove in the back.
Second time that Melbourne Storm have been given a penalty when perhaps the referee could have continued it on, but Munster points to the touchline.
And they're so successful when they set up to the right post and come back to the left with Cameron Munster and Cooper Johns. We'll see if they do it again.
Massive Solomona with the first play. Now it's Johns to Wishart. There's a full little offence there as he takes it himself. One slows that play the ball down. Grant for Brandon Smith. Now Johns. Johns will go through! Oh, what's a great tackle by Fafita to save it, but Johns a second attempt. Grant out to Munster! He's got a hat-trick! You knew it was going to be Cameron Munster, and he makes it look effortless. Second hat-trick of his career. And a timely one here just to keep the Titans away with 16 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, it's off the back of two silly penalties from the Gold Coast Titans. Cooper Johns, he's been over the try line once and he nearly gets there again, but really patient. Harry Grant gets into dummy half and he finds his main man, and he had to do a bit of work. Unfortunately, Jamin Jolliffe coming across, he's just too fast and strong, and he knows where the space is. It's around the post, he just shows to the out. A bit of push in there, a bit of push in support from Jesse Bromwich. He doesn't need it, and he's got three, and there could be more coming.
Well, they've already had a couple of 4 tries this year. Ryan Pappenhausen did it in round 4 against the Dogs. Xavier Coates scored 4 against the Warriors on Anzac Day, or Anzac night. Munster's got 15 minutes. More importantly, though, it makes Melbourne far more comfortable in terms of this contest.
With the modern game, it's so important that you've got a threat out of dummy half. We talk about Harry Grant. As Munster kicks a goal, he's just so dangerous, and his pass selection's fantastic. And on that occasion, he knew where the ball had to be. He took a couple of steps, engaged the markers, engaged the middle defenders, and offloads to his man.
Here's a question, Premiership coach. Melbourne said with Lara that this is temporary, and when Meany is back, he'll slot back there at Munster and go back into the halves. Let's say Meany is available. Are they almost, well, better off with Munster in the fullback role? What do you think?
Oh, look, some of the tries he scored tonight, he would have scored no matter where he's playing. Like that try there is a number 6 try.
Yes.
He was the first receiver, so it's not going to change a lot. It's what works best for this Melbourne Storm team. I think he's just really enjoyed the challenge of playing fullback tonight. I think if you named him 7, 6, 1, he just loves playing football.
He's had 15 runs, 147 metres, and apart from his little battles with the referee, he's had a big smile on his face most of the night. And getting it on is Wishart. 14 up, 14 to play. Jesse Bromwich. first receiver roll for the last tackle kick. And that's an early leap for Fafita. He made a meal of it. This time under less pressure than the previous high kick, which he took magnificently. And this time he just jumped a touch too soon. And they're going to challenge this, the Titans.
Titans captain's challenge.
I'll tell you what, that might be
Challenging
Falcon
the
and
on-field
nothing else.
decision and knock on Gold Coast.
Looks like it has hit his head. Certainly the upper body.
Gee, you want the challenge?
Might have a case here.
Tino, did you want it or not? Tino.
Just looking to make sure it hits the hand or arm of Jojo Fafita.
But then what happens after that if it's not a Fafita knock on?
That's a knock-on for me. Either
The ball is knocked on by Jojo Fafita into Brandon Smith. The challenge is
He
unsuccessful.
doesn't even get an inconclusive there.
Challenge unsuccessful. Knock on. Scrum here. Where do you want the scrum here, Ken?
And they're just putting themselves under too much defensive pressure, the Titans at the moment. They've come up with some penalties, back-to-back penalties before the last try. And then on this occasion, they've gone all the way up the field. The Melbourne Storm come up with a kick, and now they're under try-line pressure again, the Gold Coast Titans.
Boys, bring it up.
It was that one chance they missed at 22-14, and then
Nice and tidy,
the
guys.
penalty off the back of that, and it has changed everything.
Work it out. Heads in.
Johns defeated Grant.
In,
Look
Harry,
at
Harry. Ball in,
Munster.
ball in.
what have they got
break.
brewing here? It goes to Munster quickly. So just the setup here. That's for Solomon can fashion an offload. No, he cannot. 10 metres away. They can bury the Titans here. There's now Brandon Smith on to Wishart. Oh, he bumps away. That was Fermor he got by. So Brimson. There's Grant away to Brandon Smith. They knew that was coming. That was Campbell getting in his way with Farsuma, Alawi and Fafita. Still 3 tackles left. Here's Wishart. Boyd had rushed up. There's 2-on-1. There's Norfoluma. Work to do inside a couple. Oh, he got there, but he didn't get it down. Great save.
Okay. On tackle 4, no try. Just confirm that he's held up.
Geez, he did well just to get to the line, but Titans have, looks like, held him up.
Yeah, it's an outstanding defence. I think it's Jojo Fafita gets underneath him with Big Tino, and young Campbell's around his
The
legs.
ball is always up and the tackle is complete over the goal line. We have a decision.
I think they all knew that. So 2 tackles left. He wants that first try. He should have had one early. Just didn't quite get the put down right.
Make sure on the line. AJ. Hold it. Tackle 4.
He's a stack deep here, Melbourne. They've had time to work out something. Back in field for Jesse Bromwich.
Last tackle, Tino. Hold. Wait.
On this last play,
Last.
Johns will do the kicking. Comes in. Let's see much of this. Xavier takes it back in field.
What do you got there, Hendo?
And that's Fodawaker that comes away with it. A couple of times Coates has taken it, but with too much space between himself and the try line.
Yeah, they just need that kick to land right on the try line. He's such a target out on that right-hand side of the field. And you saw there, he just took it with ease, but it needs to be right on the try line to get the advantage.
They knew where that ball was going, the Titans. That's Marju.
Up together. Here and hold. Wait.
Need something very special to avoid a 10th straight defeat. Here we go. Here's an attempted kick off the belly of the ball. Just finds Munster. Now Norfoluma. Here's Johns. The catch and pass, the draw. Tanamapaya. He's over halfway. This is a great place for the Storm to start a set. Tanamapaya. Tackle 1, Norfoluma.
Tino, all the way to Isaac. Oh.
The crowd can sense there's a moment coming here. Grant to Munster. He's got 3 already. This time to Johns. Just stays on the skinny side. Grant to that man Munster. The double pup. That, the timing's beautiful. But Tonomapaya couldn't help himself and was stopped again by Fafita.
Tackle 5. No try. Looking at a double movement.
It's just amazing football players. They get so close, they just cannot help themselves. They have to have that second go, and it'll be a no try. Once again, but Cameron Munster goes down there, just double pumps.
It's a good tackle. That's all for Fafita.
I think you'll find
just looking to determine at the point when the ball is promoted whether
That's right.
the defenders have made or affected a tackle.
Earlier try when momentum was cited. It's not quite.
When the ball is promoted, Jojo Fafita is still in contact around the legs. We have a decision.
Yeah, I think anyone watching tonight, that's more double movement than the one we had earlier tonight. So 28-14 it remains. It's cut. Toss the Titans aside. Boy, they've had some chances, Melbourne. How many disallowed tries have we seen?
Yeah, he comes up with a real big tackle there, Jojo Fafita, and it was David Nufaluma a couple of tackles earlier that was running down the sideline, and it was Jojo Fafita again that got across and saved the tackle, and then on that occasion had to come in. Some really good work by Munster, committed 2, and he just had to come in and make the tackle, and he does a great job for a young fella.
On 30 here, guys.
The Titans have outscored Melbourne from the 25th minute on. Obviously all the damage done in those 25 minutes. But they've stuck solid here, the Titans.
They need to come up with a trick play here. They need to come up with something special just to break them open.
So really hard to put down as usual. They can't even get him to ground, but he is held. Furmore, gee, fancied his chances there, but Wishart again up to the challenge, the help of Seve. For the Waker. Careful. Nelson had plans there. Clark had moved dummy half. Ajou. This has been the area that's left a little to be desired. Boyd. That should be a pretty easy one for Norfolk.
Yeah, they're chasing points. They just need to come up with something a little bit different on that occasion. Their halves needed to get the football. They needed to get an offload for one of their big men. They just couldn't. They're just too conservative, just rucking up. The only real play is to go out to their left edge back row in Furmore, and hopefully that he can break a tackle, but it's not good enough. They're 9-7-6, and especially their 1 need to come up with something special.
We are straight to 4 Pines Park after this. Because of all the video refereeing decisions we've had here, we're not quite running late yet, but it won't be long to wait once we get to full time here up in Sydney. Manly, Parramatta. Big game, Friday night footy here on Fox. Easy one for Fafita, but that will do for the Storm with a 14-point margin. They've lost Jerome Hughes tonight. Hopefully just a precaution, shoulder problem. Brandon Smith has got a nervous wait until about 10 a.m. tomorrow when the match review sheet comes out. A potential hip drop. There's a little dart out of dummy half. Brimson. Geez, Brimson never stops trying, does he? Yeah, Marju gets it on. So rare second phase play. Allows Fodawaker to go down to the 40. Just to the 30. Brimson to Clark. Clark to David Fafita. Oh, there's the flick, and that might be off Norfoluma. And it is. It is.
Scrum here, where do you want the feed?
Geez, we just haven't seen much of David Fafita, have we?
Well, it was a better set, and it all started from Campbell getting out and causing a bit of trouble, and then they jumped down the short edge with AJ Brimson. But then they come into the middle part of the field and they throw it to the big kid on the right-hand side, which is not good enough. They need to have shape around him and have people in motion. Then David Fafita will be dangerous, but they just throw him the ball and just hope that something happens.
He's had 8 runs, but every time he's had it, they've been up in his face.
Stay down, stay in.
Maybe this is the time. So another chance for the Titans. Boyd looking up with the fullback Campbell. Away from Wishart and inside the 20.
Ryan, you're out of play. I'm down.
Out it comes now for Brimson. 4-8. Tackle number 3. Boyd at dummy half. Short side again to Brimson, the most likely, but a forward pass. A forward pass. And we'll have a scrum 10 metres out, but yet again, the Titans, their completion rate is excellent. But it seems when they do fail to complete, it's at precisely that part of the field.
Xavier, bring it back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, when you're struggling to score some points and you're struggling to find wins. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets. And the Titans are trying really hard at the moment. It's just a forward pass out of dummy half. The execution of those tiny plays just costly.
So Manly Parramatta is on straight after we're done here.
Hurry, quick. Head in, clock off. Stay down, stay in there, Jaden. Hold AJ.
Huge game in the context of the top 8 and the top 4. Munster.
A big 5 minutes here for the Titans, the 28-14. They've competed, they've tried hard. Things haven't gone well for them, and the Storm haven't been their best, but they've been pretty good for the start of the half and scored some really nice tries. And obviously the Cameron Munster influence has been outstanding, but they just don't want it to get away from them here in the last 5 minutes.
Decoy, as for Solomona under Jesse Branch. Oh, the pass hitting the fingertips of Felice Kafusi. Well, they're going to get a win here, Melbourne, but
middle scrum on that clock.
certainly not back to their best. 10 from 16, their completions in this second half.
And that's the difference with the Melbourne Storm this year. Is the old Melbourne Storm, it wouldn't matter what the scoreboard said, they would just consistently just go back to what they do really well and their foundations and their systems and their structures. But an offload like that, coming out of trouble, 5 minutes to go, is not Melbourne like.
But they will move back to 3rd, at least for now, on the NRL ladder. They've fallen again significantly better than Cronulla's on 28 points. Tino, that looked like it came out, and it did, and now Grant's away. Now the Storm looking for their 6th try. North for Luma, he's desperate for one. He's doing the tough stuff there. Inside the last 5 minutes. Wishart. Oh, ripped out by Fermor. Great play by Beau Fermor.
Yeah, a smart play. He called Aaron Clark out of the tackle. He knew he had a good grip on the football. He just calls him out, and he gets a one-on-one steal. Once again, Big Tino putting his hand up to do some work. We need the 7, 6, and 1 to get the football. They're the dangerous ones at the moment.
He's got to stay in. Well, he does well, and it's play on. Sami. Now, you heard the ding. There's a fresh set coming. Now it's Campbell. Collins. You seem to have more energy at the moment than Melbourne. Most of the attacking in this second half.
Well, explain that. The dummy half runs out, the fullback runs out, trying to find his 7 and 6 and couldn't find them.
Yes, sir. Exploded out of the blocks to start his night with a try with his first touch inside the 10. Boyd, the kick, Fafita coming through. There's never a chance. Young Tonamapaya. Oh, that's a great play.
Tino, 10 metres.
And a penalty as well. So the Storm might have the last say here.
Yeah.
Good stuff from young Tonamapaya, though.
Yeah, it was a nice kick in the end, but once again, the set, their halves, their creative people within the team, the fullback, the 7 and the 6, they didn't get the football and they didn't get to their strike players, being Fafita and Fermor on the edge early enough.
All right, Manly Para. Who do you like, Flano?
I like Manly at home, and obviously the loss of Moses in the halves for Parramatta. Their strength, Parramatta's strength is their forward pack, and they can get it done if they're on song. And their outside backs are strong as well from the back end of the field. But I just think Manly at home, after the turmoil they have, Desi loves this type of attitude that he'll bring with his team tonight.
Mouth-watering game coming up in moments. Now here's Kamikamifa. So just the one try for Melbourne in this second half. Of course, it was Cam Munster who's got a hat-trick. Jesse Bromwich away now to Asima Solomona. Grant puts in the kick, which has Tonamapaya chasing, but no real threat there.
Might be the case, mate, but I don't think so. Play the ball. Where do you want to go?
He's been good, hasn't he, Harry Grant, as usual.
Yeah, he has. He's a selection, he's passing, when to run. He obviously keeps the middle defenders so honest. His marker's honest. And as I said, his pass selection is outstanding. And tonight, I think he's dived on at least 3 loose balls, which is a quality. He just never gives up. He keeps chasing the football as we come up with an error to young Fafita. He's tried hard. He's been good under the high ball, young Fafita, and he's going to be a really good footballer, NRL player, and he's only played 5 or 6 games, and unfortunately comes up with an error here.
What a shame for him.
We've still got to pack this scrum here, guys.
So
we're going to need a half-back.
Storm not in any great hurry here. Clock is ticking. What happens here might be important to some. 28-14. The result's not in doubt.
Head in.
Cameron Munster. There is him.
Well, he's looking for 4.
Hold, break.
Grant. Geez, there's space. There it goes. Young Tonamapaya crosses and scores his first try in a long, long time. We're waiting for confirmation. Peter Goff. Hang on. There it is. On the final play of the night, the Storm. Well, they have something to celebrate in this second half. Young Tonamapaya, look at the love they have for him. He was at the Storm 2014 to 2018. Back this year after some time at the Melbourne Rebels, and they set it up for him. Maybe the Titans thought it was going to Cam Munster, but yet again the Melbourne winger, we saw that earlier in the night, just left totally untouched. It was Xavier Coates earlier in the game, and 32-14 with just the kick at goal to come.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the man on debut for the Melbourne Storm, David Nufaluma, over in that corner. But it was a beautiful pass by Cooper Johns. He's played really well tonight. Some really good kicking, some nice passing. He nearly scored twice, and a beautiful pass there. They thought it was forward. Both the officials and the sideline officials said it was spot on. He's had a great game.
So, of course, yes, he was a Titan in 2020 where he played 10 games, young Tonamapaya. So this would cap off Cam Munster's night if he nailed one from the sideline.
He's one of those players I wouldn't bet against.
No. There you go, he's got 20 of their 32. He's got one from wide out tonight. He's on the left side too, not this time, but full time at Amy Park. The Storm, they do enough. They win over the Gold Coast, 32-14.